Excellency, the head of the Pacific IFED, Mrs. Official Tumona, the representative from Tutu, senior government officials, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, beloved Nakachio. On behalf of the Ministry of Agriculture, I welcome you all to the launch of the Pacific Islands Rural Agriculture Stimulus Facility here at JJ's Park. It is indeed an honor and privilege for me to be able to address you today at the launch of the Pacific Islands Rural and Agricultural Stimulus Facility project for Fiji. The PIRAS facility is a joint collaboration between the International Fund for Agriculture Development, IFED, and Australian Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade, DFAD, aiming at minimizing the impacts of COVID-19 on livelihoods and food security among rural households. The objective of this initiative is to support economic recovery from COVID-19 pandemic, including improved income generation and food and nutritional security for rural communities in Fiji. The country allocation is $765,000 over a term of 3 years, and the project focus will be on food production support, post-harvest handling, food preservation, and access to markets. This initiative targets 3,300 vulnerable rural farmers, following which 50% shall be women and 40% youths, and the initiative geographical focus is on vulnerable selected rural farming communities, including the highlands of Bithilel. The project will be implemented through a joint partnership between Pacific Islands Farmers Organization Network P4, PCDF, and Rise Beyond the Reef for the successful implementation of this regional initiative. Ladies and gentlemen, COVID-19 has placed immense pressure on Fiji's health system and the economy, forcing the government to place drastic measures to contain the spread, which is creating serious impediments to economic activity and consequently to livelihoods and food security and nutrition. The unprecedented impact of COVID-19 had instantly resulted in more than 350,000 workers left without employment. Further reports from FAO suggested that people affected by the pandemic were stressed, food insecure, and vulnerable, and bore a high risk of sliding into crisis level if confronted with additional shocks. PCDF is expected to assist the MOE to deliver a series of interventions to achieve increased production. The comparative advantage of the highland project area is the cooler temperatures created by the higher altitudes. This allows for extended seasonal cropping, resulting in higher returns to farmers. The Ministry of Agriculture has made a commitment to farmers and PCDF to assist farmers at the completion of the farm. However, this support has not been provided, and we envisage that PIRAS will provide that support and complete most of the interventions that will yet to be completed. We see a transition in the world to a focus on recovery through a combination of saving lives, protecting the poor, securing foundations of the economy, and strengthening policies and institutions for resilience. In its World Economic Outlook update for July, the IMF forecast the global economy to grow by 6% in 2021 and 4.9% in 2022. This recovery is on the back of a 3.2% decline in 2020. Here in the region, most Pacific Island countries have been spared the health crisis posed by COVID-19. However, the economic fallout has been devastating, affecting thousands of jobs and livelihoods. Tourism, which is a significant revenue and an employment generator in all countries in the region, has been severely affected. And by extension, so too have numerous micro, small and medium enterprises linked to the tourism industry. In this April 2021 issue of the Pacific Islands Monitor, the IMF estimated that the unweighted average real GDP for the Pacific Islands as a group contracted by an estimated 4.5% in 2020. The largest impact has been felt by the tourism-dependent PICs. As small developing island states, we face many similar development challenges, including limited land mass, arable land, and small and often scattered populations, fragile natural environments, dependence on imported energy sources, high vulnerability to climate change, natural disasters and external economic shocks, heavy reliance on food imports, a limited number of economic sectors, distance from global markets, malnutrition, and high rates of diet-related non-communicable diseases. The COVID-19 pandemic is challenging our food security, nutrition, and climate resilience even further. The pandemic's impact has been conveyed through disrupted local and global supply chains, suspended international travel, reduced demand for exports, and from the economic shocks being experienced by the global economy and major trading partners in the region. These disruptions have flow-on consequences affecting agriculture, food security, and nutrition in a variety of ways. Smallholders have faced difficulty selling their produce because domestic travel restrictions and reduced marketplace operating hours. Fresh fruits and vegetables that are exported by air freight are now facing massive marketing constraints since they often relied on passenger flights. Direct sales to travelers and tourists, commonly used to market cocoa products, virgin coconut oil, crystallized ginger, and a number of spices produced in the peaks have been lost. The supply of fresh fruits and vegetables in countries dependent on imports has decreased, while households in areas that can only be reached by boat tend to see their food supply affected by movement restrictions and irregular boat transport. Now more than ever, governments are recognizing the importance of agriculture as the backbone of an inclusive economy and as a means of enhancing the economic resilience of their citizens. The pandemic has heightened awareness of the crucial role that domestic food systems play in providing resilience to shocks, self-sufficiency, and insurance against food insecurity. This mutual concern for rapid economic recovery from the pandemic's effects provides an opportunity for governments and development partners to work together to strengthen the resilience of domestic food systems for long-term sustainability. This regional initiative is timely as our focus in the region shifts from insulating ourselves from the pandemic towards economic recovery and resilience building. In this connection, I wish to acknowledge the steadfast support of International Fund for Agriculture Development and the Government of Australia for partnering with government in this initiative. This PIRAS project comes at a crucial time to complement government's efforts in creating new and sustaining existing livelihoods for those severely impacted by the effects of the pandemic. In any crisis, it is usually the vulnerable sections of a community who are disproportionately affected. For this reason, the PIRAS project will target 3,300 economically challenged farming households in rural areas that have been assessed to be more vulnerable, particularly women and youth. The PIRAS will be implemented by Pacific Islands Farmers Organization (PFON) and complement government's economic recovery initiative by targeting communities in Viti Levu. With technical support of Ministry of Agriculture, the range of services and support that PIRAS will provide rural farmers include providing farmers with seedlings and planting materials for crops, livestock and fisheries, provide tools, farming equipment and training to improve farm productivity, providing food processing technology and training to support post-harvest handling, food preservation and value adding, provide technical training in growing vegetables, seed and seedling production, pest and disease control, soil conservation, post-harvest handling, and business and financial management, establishing nurseries and demonstration plots, linking smallholders into partnership with commercial farmers. Involved in established and existing agriculture food value chains through outgrower schemes, encouraging and expanding the use of mobile applications amongst farmers as a medium for sharing market-related information, as well as creating awareness of issues and events, supporting agribusiness linkage to markets through strengthening e-commerce platforms. I'm pleased to note that the data capture and knowledge sharing is also at the core of PIRAS. As a regional initiative, the development of knowledge products to facilitate cross-fertilization of good practices and peer learning across countries in the Pacific region is critical. Lessons in relation to tracking food security, use of information and communication technology, and ensuring a rapid response and recovery to shocks which provide significant input into future government and ODA programs, enabling better data capture and knowledge sharing with target communities and more resilient solutions. As the COVID-19 pandemic has taught us, it is only through harnessing our efforts collectively as one do we have greater chance of mitigating the negative impact from the pandemic, recover the losses we have borne over the past 2 years, while building more resilient systems that provide more sustainable livelihood for our people in the future. Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the PIRAS initiative is a welcome addition to the government's arsenal in combating the impacts of COVID-19. It provides a strategic complement to government's existing efforts to ensure the livelihoods of the vulnerable sections of the community are not only restored, but also made more resilient to future shocks. For me, the clear measurable outputs of the project will be new land brought under cultivation, additional output generated from the targeted area, additional households engaged in commercial agriculture, new farm roads constructed to connect farm to market, measurable changes in household income in targeted area, notable and visible procurement of produce from farm gate in these targeted areas. So, the measurable outputs I'm talking about is different from the inputs that would be provided through this project. Unless we have outputs, the input doesn't matter. So noting the above measurable outputs, it is my pleasure to therefore officially launch the Pacific Islands Rural and Agriculture Stimulus Facility in Fiji. And we look forward to the support of all stakeholders and partners present here today in its successful implementation. Thank you. Naka.